Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first edition of LinkedIn Live for 2022. Happy New Year and welcome to our twice a month broadcast of LinkedIn Live here. My name is Matt Lozer, Director of Recruitment Marketing at Haley Marketing, and we are excited to be back here for 2022. We have a LinkedIn Live broadcast every other Tuesday. So at 11 a.m. Eastern, we talk about everything recruitment marketing. If it's career sites, job advertising, employment branding, social recruiting. Those are our four pillars of recruitment marketing we really like to focus on. A lot of our content here on LinkedIn Live will focus on job advertising, but especially today, all those other three pillars, along with job advertising, compose our four pillars of recruitment marketing here at Haley Marketing. And we're excited to always talk about them here on LinkedIn Live. And we're going to dig into job advertising success stories from 2021, what worked well. And before we get started here, just some reminders. Always, please check out the Secrets of Staffing Success podcast, the top podcast for the staffing industry. Subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast player. New episode drops every Wednesday. Really excited to be back on that with Brad Biley here in 2022. And a couple of websites, as always, recruitmentmarketers.com and haleymarketing.com. Great content we produce consistently across those two websites. But today, we are going to jump right in here to job advertising success stories from 2021. What worked well? And as we know, recruiting in 2021, one heck of a roller coaster. It started in January, February, where everything seemed to work really well. Middle of March came, stimulus bill was passed, and even before checks hit bank accounts, people stopped applying for jobs. Really struggled to recruit. March, April, May, June started to come back, July, August, and then end of 2021 in Haley Marketing, we started to see a lot better results. 85-ish% of our clients seeing better results November, December than the previous couple of months, which was awesome to see. And now it's time to dig right in to see what worked well in job advertising for staffing companies throughout 2021. And we'll start here with an industrial recruiter in Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, a bunch of branches throughout a couple of different states here. And you can see their results going from August to December. Applications basically doubled. We went from 1,329 applications in August to over 2,700 applications in December. So they more than doubled. Cost per application naturally went from $7.40 to $3.50. We actually reduced the budget by $200-$300. Really awesome results. What worked well? What tactics worked well for this client? We shifted a little bit of the money over from Indeed to ZipRecruiter. I wouldn't say that's the biggest one, but it was small change. But when you're dealing with a $10,000 budget and 5-6% change, that brought some more applications for the team. They saw good results from ZipRecruiter, and with a lower cost per application on ZipRecruiter with a similar quality, they wanted to shift some money over to there. This one was the biggest improvement here for the industrial recruiter. It is increasing or adjusting the jobs to budget ratio. That's going to be a common theme here that the team, myself and Bradley Reed on the programmatic team at Haley Marketing really focused on in the second half of 2021, making sure you have the right jobs to budget ratio. What do I mean by that? You have a budget, you want to have a certain number of jobs. Question we get all the time in the sales process when working with clients, how many jobs should I have in my budget? And we saw a lot of the times increasing the jobs for the same budget led to a lot of great results. Here's a perfect example for a client, this industrial client in December. From the 1st to the 12th, 63 applies for one of their branches. Cost per application was $7.57. Second part of the month, the 13th to the 31st, 5x the applications. Obviously, cost per application down by more than 50%. So just by making some adjustments with some new titles, posting the jobs in some additional cities, all automated through software and technology we use at Haley Marketing to manage job advertisement budgets for our clients, increased from 63 applies to 330 applies, cost per application down by more than 50%. Really awesome results. Let's dig into this healthcare recruiter that staffs nationwide. They recruit across the country, get a lot of VMS jobs, and as they progressed throughout the second half of 2021, Applications skyrocketed, went from 165 to over 1,000 applications. Budget went up by from 5,000 to just under $7,500, so a 50% increase in the budget, but applications went up by 6x. So a really awesome results here where we dropped their cost per application from $30 to about $7. And you can see that column next to the months, the average job count worked really well. That's where a lot of the results came. They were sponsoring about 88 jobs in August. We increased the budget in September, didn't increase the number of jobs. Cost per application went up by $15. Not what we want. Kept that same budget for quarter four, steadily increased the jobs, made some other changes, which we'll go over on the next slide. And applications went from 150 a month to 500 in November and over 1,000 in December. Awesome to see. What worked well? Higher jobs to budget ratio, which we talked about, recommended sponsoring 2x, 3x the amount of jobs. Didn't have to increase the budget by 2x or 3x at all. We increased it by 50%, sponsoring more jobs, getting more applications. Geographic expansions, this worked really well. This healthcare recruiter, obviously nationwide, added some automation to the software we use to manage their budgets, and put some suburbs to some major cities where this client recruits. So if you're in Buffalo, New York, where we are, also may have shown Hamburg, New York, Orchard Park, New York, Amherst, New York, Tonawanda, or maybe some cities that are 20, 30 miles away, wherever makes sense for that major metropolitan area. Show those jobs in those cities to reach more candidates. And stop overpaying for easy to fill jobs. We saw this in September when the client increased their budget but didn't get more applications, actually had fewer applications. And the MedLab techs were eating up a disproportionate amount of the budget. We separated out the budget for these MedLab techs, and the results comparing September and December show exactly why. In September, eating up a budget, taking budget away from hard to fill jobs. So client only had 11 applies, $40 an apply. In December, we did this in October, November, December, continuing to optimize. In December, huge jump in applications, 150 applications. Cost was down to $7.50 just by giving the MedLab techs, which are easier to fill as opposed to higher level RN jobs. We gave these easier to fill jobs a dedicated budget, took them away from pulling budget from harder to fill jobs, and made sure the jobs to budget ratio was exactly right. Really worked well. Last one, this might be one of our biggest success stories of the year. It came in the quarter four, but they were really struggling. The data here for this client was really tough because they were struggling throughout the month to where they were getting a high cost per application. And you can see in October, the cost per application was over $21. That was too much for these jobs. They were standard general staffing in a tough location in this Wisconsin, Minnesota area where they're by some bodies of water. And it's tough to recruit if you're obviously on different sides of the water. But throughout October, November, December, increased the job count and led to really nice results. In October, 93 applications, $21 an application. It was the cost. In December, applications went from 90 to 298. So 3x the applications. Cost per application down by over almost $15 an application. Monthly budget stayed the same. So what did we do? What tactics works? Job expansions, did a lot of some city expansions, title expansions, seeing what was 10 minutes away, 20 minutes away to really recruit the candidates that were in the area, and also some title expansions, which work really well. Budget to jobs ratio, we tripled that job count in November, 5x the job count from October to December, and saw more applications come in. We went from 90 applications in October to almost 300 applications in December. We added in ZipRecruiter to supplement Indeed. Didn't increase the budget, took a small portion of the budget, probably 10 to 15% of the budget from Indeed, moved it over to ZipRecruiter, and drove more applications for the client there. So a really nice strategy our team put together. Bradley Reed worked really hard on this one to get better results because we weren't happy in October with the results. A client tries this new technology, outsources their job advertising to Haley Marketing. We didn't get great results, put our heads together, went back to the drawing board, implemented tactics, saw nice results of applications going up by 3x, cost per application down by $15 an application. Really pleased with what we did here. Job titles, been talking about that throughout this presentation so far on making sure title expansion is a part of the strategy. Perfect example here was from back in May with a transportation staffing client in California. We want to make sure your job titles match what candidates are searching for when they go to Indeed, when they go to ZipRecruiter to search for your jobs. Facebook and Google, separate conversations, but similar. Google's a search engine. Indeed is a search engine. ZipRecruiter is a search engine. Someone's going to go to Indeed and ZipRecruiter and type in what they think about when they're searching for a job. It's going to be something as simple as warehouse, etc. For this client here, transportation staffing, where their original titles were just Class A driver, Class B driver, Class A CDL driver. We did some research. Indeed was showing candidates were just going there and typing in truck driver or Class A truck driver. One additional word in the job title, adjusting it from Class A driver to Class A truck driver. The adjustment in the middle of the month decreased application cost by 12%, increased application numbers by 42%. Just by that simple change, moving forward throughout the year, client was really happy with the results, kept the truck driver in the title, led to awesome results. Had a great call with them yesterday, actually, and they talked about how their drivers generating revenue in December 2020, that number was 63. In December 2021, that number was 132. It wasn't just job advertising, it was everything. We do social media, SEO, Facebook advertising, pay-per-click advertising, a number of different tactics to help them get there, but that worked really well. It starts with these job titles that you have to have your job titles match what candidates are searching for. Similarly, apartment staffing from Florida. This is also from the middle part of the year. Their titles were just leasing consultant. Did some research and saw candidates were typing in leasing agent. Okay, that's a simple expansion. But also, and this goes across all industries, it was really big in the middle of summer. I'm sure it's now popular as well, but candidates will just go in and type in hiring immediately or now hiring. And Indeed knows about your search history, especially if you're logged in, and can show you results matching your past experience, your past search history, your past applications, etc. So we did some expansions. Everything that came in as leasing consultant. Now also we posted variations as leasing agent or leasing consultant hiring immediately. Tripled their applications in 1 month. Didn't increase the budget. Budget stayed exactly the same. Went from 76 applications to 237 applications in 1 month just by automating some job title testing. Did some research, went to Indeed Hiring Insights, went to Google, conducted research to see what people are searching for, and then implemented that into the software to automate and continually drive awesome results. This last one here, bigger client throughout the Southeast. You can see a really nice trend. From August to December, applications doubled. And the big adjustments here, I'll show on the next slide, came in the job titles. We shifted to more general job titles instead of specific job titles. In August, 5,500 applies. The cost per application was nearly $4. In November and December, right around 11,000 applications a month. Cost per application down in half, cut from $3.97 to about $1.80. Budget stayed exactly the same. What did this tactic work? More general job titles. Instead of client would start posting job titles as general warehouse, truck unloading, picking, packing, warehouse day shift. They got away from the specific job titles at the bottom of this slide. PE operator, clamp operator, dispatcher one. Nobody's going to Indeed and typing in dispatcher one. They're typing in something like warehouse. They're typing in production or assembly, something very simple. They know that's what the job is. That's what the job description comes over as. The job rec comes over as. We have to treat this as a marketing tactic. Don't just have your job titles be directly what that job is. Think about what your candidate is searching for and post that as a job advertisement, not just a job requisition. Really great results here from a client that doubled their amount of applications and kept their budget exactly the same by adjusting job titles. Remote jobs, very similarly to a tactic you need to implement when posting your jobs. If you put remote in the job title, it's going to work well. This client here, professional staffing in Florida, was a marketing consultant job or something similar, marketing specialist. I forget what the title exactly was, but they put remote in the title over the weekend, literally about 2 or 3 days, received 652 applications for the job at 26 cents an application. People like this job title. People like the job. People like the pay rate. Indeed liked all that and continued to show it to its candidates and drive a really low cost per application. There are other jobs in September weren't awful, $1.52 an application, but you can see 70-80% decrease in cost per application just by having remote in the job title. If you have a remote job, if you have a hybrid job, if you have a work from home job, put that in the job title. Put that in the first sentence as well. People are searching for remote work from home jobs. They're searching for remote accounting, searching for remote marketing, work from home, anything that can be done at home. That's what they are literally typing in, not just the job title plus remote. Make sure that's in your job title. Wrapping up here, the last thing I want to look at is what happens when you do increase your budget. We've heard a lot, ZipRecruiter increasing cost of job slots by a big percentage. Indeed, asking for more money just because they're businesses. They understand there's a lack of candidates right now and a lot of unfilled job orders. Unemployment might be low, had the lowest amount of claims in a long time, but digging deeper into the labor force participation rate, some estimates unemployment isn't as low as it is. It's probably 5.5%. I think 5.2% is sticking in my head for the number. That's a big difference from 3.8, 4.0. There's just people aren't in the labor force participating right now. So these job boards understand they're a business. They're going to charge more money to get what you need. Supply and demand never fails. So when you do increase the budget, we want to see better results. This is a different healthcare recruiter nationwide from earlier. Increased their budget from 7,500 to 12,500 November, December, and saw applications increase. Increased the budget by about 66%. Applications almost tripled up by 200% in September to December. 427 applications in September, 1,263 applications in December. Cost per application nearly down 50%. Budget went up, but when they increased their budget, they saw increasing returns, actually, not even same returns, similar returns. Definitely didn't see decreasing returns. We don't want to see cost per application increase when we increase our monthly budget. We want to see it stay the same at worst, but we want to see it improve. And when you increase your budget, it's important to get more applications. We don't want to increase our budget to get the same amount of applications. Not what the tactics should be. Think of some other tactics when you need more applications. It doesn't just have to be job advertising. That's a separate presentation for another day, but really focus on when you have a budget, what can you do to drive better results? We'll have that in the wrap up slide here in a minute. Healthcare recruiter in California, a lot of healthcare recruiters today, but they need a lot of obviously candidates, and we're seeing awesome results here where this company increased their budget a couple of $1,000s in October, and in November went from 5,200 to just over 10,000 and saw applications increase. This wasn't as marked results as the previous slide, but they doubled their budget. They got a little more than double the amount of applications, which is good. Went from 491 an application to 439 an application. So at worst, they received the same results. They stayed on that curve. Didn't pay more for applications, paid a little less for applications, but they're not overpaying. That's what we don't want to happen. When you increase your budget, we don't want to overpay for the same candidates. There's going to be a finite number of candidates in your market. There's going to be a finite number of candidates in your market on a job board. When you increase your budget, you want to get better results. That's the goal. Watch your jobs to budget ratio, supplement with other job boards if you need to. There might only be so many healthcare candidates in Seattle, Washington on Indeed. Look to other job boards, ZipRecruiter, Talroo, Talent.com Nuvo, Upward Jobcase, a programmatic job board, Appcast Accelerate, PandoLogic, Recruitix. Think about that when you're increasing your budget to make sure you're not overpaying for your candidates. So wrapping up here, 5 tactics we really want to focus on here on how companies found success in 2021. Number 1, by far and away, the budget to jobs ratio. Really important. I think companies are getting stuck on sponsoring a low amount of jobs. There's tactics through software and tech, bullet point number 2 here, city expansions, title expansions, to where if you're posting a warehouse job in Cleveland, Ohio, you can post that 5 different ways, 10 different ways to recruit for the same job, but reach a bigger pool of candidates. Software and tech can automate that instead of your team having to manually perform all of that work. The budget to jobs ratio is really important. We talked about this in presentation. when companies were keeping their budgets the same. They needed more jobs. They needed to reach more candidates. It's so difficult to recruit. That's a great tactic. Third bullet point, use job titles your candidates are searching for. If it's remote, work from home, put that in the job title. We talked about with the truck driver. Don't just put Class A driver, put Class A truck driver. Hiring immediately, now hiring. Think about trying that out in your job titles. Use the titles your candidates are searching for, not the titles your recruiters are using, your clients are using. Most importantly, they are search engines on Indeed and ZipRecruiter. Search engines provide the results that your candidates input into the search bar. Use the job titles your candidates are searching for when posting job advertisements on job boards and your website as well. Supplement other job boards when needed. We didn't talk about that too much, but you saw with the candidate, the Wisconsin, Minnesota recruiter, they needed another job board in there. So we looked at that and added in ZipRecruiter to their tactics to see if we can increase applications. Use about 15% of the budget there for ZipRecruiter and worked really well. They went from 90-ish applications to almost 300 applications a month. And lastly, as I said, don't hide remote work from home. Put that right in the job title and also put it in the first sentence of your job posting. Those are tactics that work really well. Number one, budget to jobs ratio. Most important. If you need help or have some questions, that's where we come in. Haley Marketing, 888-696-2900, info@haleymarketing.com. Shoot me over a LinkedIn message, send me an email. We're happy to help to look at your job advertising, see if there's tactics you should be implementing, see if there's tactics we can use from our programmatic software that automate a lot of this, use our knowledge as well as looking at the data and working with 40-ish clients in the industry and growing that can help drive better results. We had so many great success stories in this webinar. Really think there's a lot of awesome ways we can help clients, companies with their job advertising throughout 2022 and beyond. Thank you for your time here today. Hope you enjoyed the presentation, saw some success stories from job advertising in 2021. It was a tough year to recruit. It's going to continue to be a tough year to recruit, but there are still some really good results out there to be had from job advertising on job boards. The right strategy, the right software, the right tech, the right experts, that combination can help you find the candidates you need to fill your open jobs. Thanks again for watching here either live or on demand. My name is Matt Lozer, Director of Recruitment Marketing. Hope you can join us here again next time. Have a great day. Take care.